Hey all, and welcome to the channel. I want to do a quick video of a quick ride for the 1980 Honda CM400 Scrambler build I just finished. This was the first time that I was really going to take it to try to find some off-road terrain. Just staying up at my wife's family's cabin. We were lucky enough to be able to have our motorcycle weekend there this year. So this is up north in Minnesota, kind of near the Leech Lake area. So this is some nice open backcountry roads, not too much traffic, and luckily there was a, I guess it was like a utility line road or an old utility line road that was pretty close to their cabin. So I thought I'd take it for a quick run there, see how we did. This intersection's about the only spot that ever gets a little bit congested. I just wanted to feel how the bike responded, especially going from pavement to off-road and then back to pavement. I wasn't honestly sure exactly where this spot was, so I was kind of trying to feel it out as I went. I knew it was a couple roads down. And I actually think I got on the wrong road. I think there was one more that I was supposed to go down to that was more of an actual road rather than what ended up being an ATV trail. But you'll see as I go, I realize that I'm not in the right area and turn around and go back to the road. So here it is coming up on the right. I found this via using the Polaris Ride Command app. And it shows this as being some national forest area, I believe. As far as I understood it, it should have been safe to ride. But anyway, we'll go over here, take a left down onto this road. If you want to really call it that, it's basically just a off-road trail. And so yeah, the Scrambler handled really well through this terrain. But coming up here was not ready for this water. As you can see, it got pretty deep pretty quick, and I'm doing everything I can to try to get out of there. I literally thought I was going to sink the bike, so luckily it never drowned out and I was able to get through it. But it was definitely up and over the engine and over the exhaust. So quickly I realized, okay, this is not going back to the road. I thought maybe it was just like a quick turn off. This camera mount, as we'll see throughout the video, was giving me a lot of problems staying put. So anyway, I wanted to go back to the road. Didn't want to ride where I'm not supposed to be if this is not a multi-purpose trail or multi-use trail. So anyway, going back to the highway, avoid that really deep puddle this time around. And I think this part, getting back on the pavement after being off-road, is always kind of tricky because you don't know how your tires are really going to grip. And these Battle Axe tires handled really, really well, honestly, for the whole week, especially on pavement. This bike was really, really nimble and cornered really well. And you might hear some slapping throughout this video. This is honestly, when I played this back, I realized sounds like my chain is probably a bit too loose, and I just bought a new chain for this not too long ago, so I'm sure it probably stretched throughout this week when we were up there. So anyway, getting into hopefully some a little bit better turns. But yeah, it handles really well. The tires hold really, really well for a dual sport tire. Great grip off-road and really, really good grip on pavement. So really couldn't be happier with the outcome. So yeah, we'll just kind of tool through the north woods of Minnesota on this backwoods trail. Scenery up here is just, it's really great. I mean, you can see the greenery of the trees. In certain spots, it really opens up. That's kind of hard to see because I couldn't exactly remember where each spot was to catch it on the camera. But there's some big open fields in between all these trees. And it's really just a pretty area, so it's a great ride. This road happened to be in pretty good condition. I was actually kind of surprised. It's just a quick loop around the cabin. So I just thought I'd do a quick scenic route. Did not realize that it was actually going to be a pretty nice cornering road, which was great. So we could do a really good test. I'm not at all a racer, so I'm just trying to go through and take the corners smooth, not terribly fast, but at a pretty good clip, just to make sure that everything handles well and kind of show how the bike goes through the corners. Again, since some of these spots where I haven't ridden this today, so I did not want to go too fast and accidentally take a bad corner. Also, I'm never trying to piss off the other people on the road, or got to be very careful about other cabins with people coming in and out of their driveways, as you can probably see on the left and right. So this was one of, I think, 3 cars I passed on this back section. Right here you can see that the camera mount's starting to kind of loosen up, and that was me trying to adjust it back and forth, so the frame's going to get kind of wonky. But hopefully it holds up for the rest of the video. But yeah, as you can see, when you lean this bike over, I mean, it really never feels loose. Like, there's certain bikes that you ride, like I have a cruiser, or 2 other cruisers that I ride. One's a 96 Honda Shadow that I've made into a bobber, and then I have a Victory, a 2006 Victory Vegas 8-ball. Neither of those bikes likes to corner very well. The Shadow's front end kind of likes to slide out, whereas the Victory, if you get on the power at all, the back end will just slide out pretty quick. This bike is just a cornering machine. Like, I was riding with my brother and our other friend. He was on a Street Glide. My brother was on some kind of BMW, like an S900, I think, something like that. And it was definitely easy for me to catch up in and out of the corners. Not that we were trying to go super fast, but I just found it really easy on some of these tight switchbacks where they're obviously not in the frame. This was after we had ridden. But yeah, the bike did awesome. So now I'm coming up through here on just the straightaway back to the cabin, and just a ways up here, in about a minute or so, here's another lake to see as we pass by. These lakes are kind of scattered all around. This happens to be one of the few that I could see from the road, but on other trips you'll see them all over the place. But again, as we come up here, I actually pass a deer, I think right here. Yep, so you can see this deer is just off the side of the road, which kind of gave me a little bit of a startle. And then I saw some other cars coming, so you'll see me right about here switching back and forth between my high beams and low beams, trying to signal them, let them know the deer's there, and then continue on the way. So this last part is just basically a really straight route all the way back to their cabin, but you can kind of see a little bit more of the Minnesota Northwoods area. There's like these little, I don't really want to call them lakes. They are technically lakes, but they're more almost like a wetland where they have just a lot of lily pad coverage. So you can't really use them as lakes, but they're still nice little opening areas. So I believe this one's called Football Lake off to the right, and as you can see, it doesn't really look like a lake, but it is a lake. You can see some water peeking through there. Again, my wife's family's cabin is right on the lake. I think it's about 50 yards from it, through the trees, but here it is. We'll come off to the right, so this will be the full lap that I just did around their immediate area. As you can see, they have an easement that they share with a couple other groups, but then they have this back little trail here to their cabin. So yeah, it's really nice, tucked back away, and then it opens up into this really the pretty yard that her dad is really kind of manicured. So as I turn around here, you'll be able to see my tank, my arm, where I got soaked from that puddle. Kind of hard to see, but you can see my shorts are drenched in the back. I actually got soaked up the back. But yeah, all in all, really fun ride, and hope to see you guys next time.